podcast, and welcome back to another episode of the Wizard's Guide podcast. I am Britt, and this is
Mike. What's up?
And we are the Wizard's Guide. This is your guide to all things Wizards Unite. So today we're going to hit some rapid fire news topics. We're going to talk about September's Community Day and our likes and gripes about FanFest. But before we get started, it's important that we check in with Mike, who's been having a rough week after the release of the new iPhone.
Yeah.
Mike, what's going on?
Yes, so they released the concept art or the styling of the new iPhone with the 3 camera lenses on the outside.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I got weirded out by those 3 lenses. There was no explanation other than, like, that makes my skin feel funny.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're a psycho. I think that's a weird thing to be weirded out by.
I thought so too. So I actually looked it up, and it turns out I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people out there that started to say that those 3 lenses, those 3 dark circles on the outside of the iPhone, made them feel funny.
Right. So my initial reaction to this is, that's freaking weird, Mike.
That was mine too.
Like, be scared of normal things like heights,
clowns,
and clowns, spiders.
You know what's funny?
Snakes. These are normal things, not 3 holes on a dadgum camera.
So everything you just listed, except for snakes, I am also afraid of. So if
you're just a big wuss.
If I'm high up and a clown has an iPhone, we look out. I am gonna.
Now after much like consideration on this topic, here's what I've come to understand. I think that you're an alien, and I think that you got memory swiped, like by Will Smith, so you don't remember that you're an alien, and you were given this new, like, human memories, so that you feel like you're normal here. They cared that you felt like you fit in, and what's happening now is you see those 3 holes, and it looks like your home spaceship.
Gotcha.
And so now you're subconsciously remembering being an alien. And all of you weirdos that are afraid of the iPhone, y'all are all aliens from the same spaceship. I think that makes the most sense.
So all I've got out of all of that is somehow I hung out with Will Smith at some point, and all of that's worth it if that's the case. If I was in the same room as Will Smith, done.
Agreed.
Boom. That also makes way more sense than what this actual thing is. That I looked it up. There's an actual phobia. It's called I don't even know how to say it. Trypophobia or something like that. And it's not the fact that there's 3 things next to each other. It's the fact that there's a start of a pattern that looks like asymmetrical circles going around the outside of the iPhone. And basically, there's some sort of biological reaction to this because it looks like
your spaceship.
It looks like my spaceship. No, it looks like some sort of poisonous or disease-ridden pattern.
So since I don't have this reaction, does this mean I would die? Like I lack some instinctual response to poisonous things?
Exactly.
So I'm going to just die?
So I'm going to survive, and you're going to touch some poisonous plant and
Let's
die.
be real. If there's some kind of apocalypse, I'm the first one going down.
That's right.
It's not just my lack of scaredy cat thing about 3 holes. There's a lot of reasons I would die.
I would be right behind you. Trust me. So do yourself a favor. Figure out if you have this phobia. Literally look up lotus seed pod and see if you feel uncomfortable looking at that picture.
Because if you do, you're an alien like Mike.
Correct.
You've found your people.
It's not a fear. I'm not afraid of it. It makes my skin crawl. It makes me feel like fingernails on the chalkboard. So check it out. I'm weird. That's how I've been doing since the last podcast. I figured that out, and I've been like obsessed looking at that stuff. So
yeah. So let's talk about news.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about not iPhone news.
Yeah, let's get out of the phobias. We're going to go into a rapid fire news section. So it's been a while since we've recorded a podcast, and there's been a lot of things that have come up in the game since our last podcast, and we want to make sure that you guys know about them. So let's jump into it. The first rapid fire topic Day of Dragons.
Day of the Dragons.
The Day of the Dragons. It happened.
It did.
It happened, and it was very, very, very successful for people that were able to participate in that 3-hour window. The key thing out of all of this is that park spawns reflected the event. So in previous events, there's been an issue with spawns and parks, and where you usually play is at a park.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for fixing that.
Yes, so the dragons...
Let's hope that's fixed during, like, community days and stuff like that going forward.
Going forward, yeah, I really hope so. It's a huge improvement. It really limited the amount of, like, community involvement when most of the time you meet up at the park and you can't play.
Yeah, I don't want to meet up with people in a creepy parking lot. Mm-hmm. That's weird.
The other cool thing that happened here is because those dragons gave you so much experience points for returning them, the average experience points earned in an hour during this event, of course, is with like the brain elixir on and stuff, was 60 to 70,000 an hour.
Okay, so like that's what I thought was going to happen on that Fortress community day. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to just be leveling like crazy.
Yep.
And nope, that did not happen.
Nope. So people that were able to participate earned a ton of wizarding experience for their character. And there were some reports of people getting over 120,000 an hour.
That's crazy. Guys, did y'all play? If so, let us know if you leveled. How many levels did you go up? We
unfortunately were unable to play at the park.
Well, not like at a park.
Right. So we played a little bit, but
it is extremely hot right now in Tennessee. Yes. Like it's well over 90, and the heat index. Actually, I think that day was over 100, and it's just too much on a little baby.
That's right. And also, many players maxed out their Oddity page rank as well.
I'm trying to slow that down because they're my favorite ones to do. And so I still want incentive to do it. So I'm trying to I got to slow down a little bit.
Right. Yeah, it is really cool though that in one event you're able to gain so much experience and max out, get all these scrolls for your profession. It's pretty sweet. Another cool thing that they've added since the last podcast is a new potion. So this is the Tonic for trace detection. Which essentially is a lure. If you've played Pokemon Go, it attracts more spawns around your area. Essentially, it's like a dark detector, but it's placed on you, your character, and so more things will appear around you.
Are those stackable? Do you know that?
Is the dark detector and the lure?
No, not the dark detector. Are the tonics stackable?
Oh, no, I think you can only have one active at a time. So it's similar to like a brain elixir. You activate it and it lasts for 30 minutes, and it just increases the amount of spawns around you for that 30 minutes.
Have any of the Jibs or any of them checked to see how much that increases? I know in Pokemon Go you use a lure. It's like one spawn every 7 minutes if you're sitting still.
Correct.
And this would be really helpful for people at home who they don't spawn anything. So I'm wondering what rate the spawns are appearing.
I'm sure that's somewhere after people have tested out this potion since it's been released. I do know that it does help if you're walking around just like a lure does in Pokemon Go. The more you walk.
So in Pokemon Go, I believe it's one every 3 minutes if you're moving, and one spawn every 7 minutes if you're standing still.
Right.
So I would assume that it's probably the same or similar in this.
And it also came with some new ingredients. There's 4 ingredients that are brand new that you need to brew this potion up, and the Erumpet horn is the hardest to find. It supposedly spawns more frequently through portkey ingredients that you gather.
That's where I've gotten mine.
Yep. I haven't gotten one outside of the bundle that they gave us when it came out.
You're a sucky wizard.
I know, right? So we'll see. I've got a few portkeys to open today, though, so we'll see. Also, no Brilliant event in this month. There's going to be no Brilliant event in September.
Yeah, that's okay. Because we've had so much else going on, I think that's fine. Let's not go overkill.
Were they too frequent to begin with?
They were
every 2 weeks essentially. Is that too much? Do you think? For you?
I would do one a month. I think.
I think pairing that with a community day, have 2 big events each month.
Right, that's what I would do.
Community day, boom.
I think it was good because it was the start of the game.
Yeah.
but now we're like kind of getting into our rhythm.
Well, and also the last 2 Brilliant events have had a part 1 and a part 2. So maybe because they were different parts, that's why it was every other week, essentially, instead of it being once a month.
That makes sense. But no, I think like one community day, one Brilliant event a month would be fantastic.
So this slows the rate of the restricted section books, essentially, since the game has released, because it was like, the second week of the game release, we had the ability to get restricted section books. Mm-hmm. Now we're kind of slowing back down. It's going to be a little bit harder to get, which I think I like better. I don't want to just continuously get restricted section books, especially, especially when the regular spell books are harder to get right now.
Yeah.
Than the restricted section.
Let me say this. This is my thought on that. So, I feel like we needed those the green books. We're just going to go there.
Green books.
We needed those green books early on in the game to allow us to level up our professions so that we all felt like we were doing something in Fortress battles.
I can see that.
I think if you didn't have the ability to do that quickly, I think that everybody would have continued to complain. So I think that that's why they did that, and now we can start slowing that down a little bit, so that we can continue making progress, but not at that same rate. So we still feel like, oh, look at me, I'm so powerful.
That actually
but not like, but we're not. You can't keep going at that rate.
Right. It actually makes sense because a lot of people I'm seeing are already moving on to their second profession. They've already just about maxed out their first profession. They're waiting on some more spell books, but their restricted section books they're spending on their secondary profession already.
Makes sense, because you can get scrolls so frequently.
Right.
Restricted section books. Yeah, that makes sense.
Another hot topic has been team composition in Fortresses. What is the correct team composition?
Here's what I find most important.
Yeah.
Just find a Magizoologist for me, because I die a lot.
That's right. And luckily...
Beyond that, I don't really care.
Luckily, you know a Magizoologist.
I know a real sexy one.
That's right. A sexy... What was the... In our video?
Sexy support
tank. I like it. So, there's been that debate constantly on what people think the best composition is in Fortress battles. I think I wouldn't be qualified to answer this. I have not done enough really competitive Fortress battles to give a lot of feedback on this. I do know that having a Magizoologist and having it's common sense what I'm about to say, having damage dealers and stuff are super important. There's some key things that professors can put on. So I know I've seen a lot of 2-2-1, which is 2 professors, 2 ors, and 1 Magizoo. That sounds great. Sure, why not?
I feel like you need
2 Magis?
At least, I think you need 2 Magis.
Well, check out the hub, Wizards Unite hub. They've got a few different guides for different team compositions. So one of those does have 2 Magizoos in it. So check that out, read it, decide for yourself. What do you guys think? What do you feel most comfortable with in Fortresses when you're going in trying to get into the higher levels of the Fortress battles? And then one other thing I just want to bring up in the rapid news section. We've talked about this. We mentioned it a second ago. The supply for regular spell books is just so hard to get.
I'm just seeing what you wrote on notes here.
Yeah.
I like this. I like it.
Yes. So this was a tweet that I retweeted last week. Oh, man, I forgot the user. Whoever you were, shout out. I wish I had the tweet up so I could shout you out real quick. But they basically said, how great would it be to replace the Granian hair? Is that how you say it? Granian?
Sure.
Daily reward with 1 spell book. So instead
that would be fantastic.
Good
Lord, give me half a spell book.
Yeah.
I don't need all that hair.
Right. I delete so many of that Granian hair just because we try to do our daily tasks each day. And being able to get a spell book, just 1 spell book out of that, would give you 7 for the week. That almost seems like it may be too much. In a month, you're getting 28 spell books. Well, 30, I guess, essentially, if you're looking at days instead of...
Can you give me a credit?
Right. Just maybe if you... maybe they have it to where you get a weekly reward. If you complete all of your tasks for the week, you know how they do in Pokemon Go? Mm-hmm. They give you a couple spell books.
I mean, even if I don't know. Even if we could just find something else other than the hair, I got enough grainy hair to make my own like lace front wig. I don't need all that.
Oh, could you imagine having the option to just turn all that hair into something for your avatar on the screen?
I mean, for real though, I just need some hair dye, and I'd have me a new do for my. It'd be like waving behind me while I was flying, like Rapunzel on a broom.
I like it. I like that a lot. But I think it was a great idea. I think it's a great suggestion to think about. I have so many ingredients that I don't need any more from the rewards of the daily tasks. I understand they're trying to give you like a piece of a reward.
I'll take a toadstool.
Oh man, that would be great. One toadstool instead of the graining. I can get graining hair. I get it all the time.
Or an Erumpet horn.
Oh, that's even better. I would replace that with one Erumpet horn, and then I would make a weekly consecutive task reward as well. If you complete all of your tasks every day for the week, you get some extra experience and a spell book or two. I like
Guys,
this.
what do you think? We typically overcomplicate everything.
Yep.
What would you replace that with? Or do you like your hair?
Do you think that
I think that's crazy. I don't need that much hair.
Do you think the rate of spell books is fine? I think I know the answer to that for most people, but they've got to figure out another way for us to increase the amount of spell books. All right, so the next big topic, we got through the rapid fire news. I was just going to bring this up in rapid fire, but we got some details on this, and that is the community day for this Saturday, September 21st. It is going to be for 3 hours, just like the other community days, and it's really focusing on mysterious artifacts. They're increasing the trace spawns for that. They're also, in the notes, they specifically said they're increasing the rare spawns for that family, which is big.
Okay, help me. Is this the red one?
It's the red one.
All right, because I just prestiged that page again, like another one. So
nice.
I'm glad that's the community day one.
Yeah, so I actually need to look at my registry to see where I'm at. But so we're going to have increased spawns for the Time Turner, the Mirror, and the Weasley Clock.
Okay.
So it's huge. I'm actually really excited for this family being featured.
Yeah. And this is how we had pictured Community Day, if you remember working before, is like it would either be a page or a family that was featured. So I like
and they tried to do that with the first Community Day, right? They did the Hogwarts registry page or family, but they got a lot of feedback that it was just like, you know, the Hogwarts students constantly.
Well, and remember, they didn't override the banner locations.
Exactly.
And so unless you were creeping around a parking lot looking like a weirdo, it didn't work so well.
It did not. Basically, you have to be a creeper to play the
like, it still makes me laugh. Trying to picture creating a community. That's what Community Day is about. What were we all supposed to do? Like, hey guys, I will meet you in the third row of the Walmart parking lot. We're going to walk up and down.
Yep.
We're going to walk up and down like a Walmart gang. Catching our foundables. What were we supposed to do?
Go to sponsored malls. That's the answer right now. And it worked. Like, we went to the sponsored mall that community day. We went to Opry Mills here in town.
But like, here's the issue. Opry Mills Mall is like crazy busy and full of tourists. Unless we were going to hold hands like Red Rover, I wasn't going to be able to stay with a group of people. I can't tell who was there and who's not. Wear a t-shirt, I guess.
We got separated several times, just trying to stay together. And when you're trying to meet up with community, because it's community day at the mall, it's kind of hard to do. I mean, it's fine. It works. Meet at the food court. Just hang out there. But if you're trying to walk around and you're trying to get these spawns,
if your mall ain't busy. But ours is crazy busy because it's like a big tourist spot.
Right.
It's right and spot by the airport too.
Yeah, it's right by Opry Lane Hotel and all that. So anyway, hopefully, they did not say anything about the park spawns. But I'm assuming since Dragon Day...
Look, I'm manifesting it right now. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
They're going to fix it, and it's going to be all up in my park.
They need to fix it. The main place you meet for these things is a park.
Yeah, don't tell me you can't, because now we saw you do it for Dragon Day.
That's right. That's right. So the other part of the community
pee down
day,
my back and tell me it's raining.
the other part of this community day is they're featuring a potion. I can never say this right. Brittany makes fun of me every time I try to say it.
I'm just going to do it for you.
Let me try.
Okay.
Extimulo.
Extimulo.
Did I say
He always says
Extimulio.
Extimulio.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you putting extra letters in there, baby.
I think I'm throwing like an extra I before the O, so Extimulio.
No, you're putting an L in Extimulio.
Extimulo.
If we keep saying it, I'm going to start screwing it up.
That's right. Anyway, they're featuring the Extimulo potion, or potions. So there's going to be a lot of things that happen with this. So we are going to have increased effect of those potions during encounters and battles. So when you're trying to get those time turners, it's going to have more effect to actually have it successfully returned.
Okay.
The brew time for these potions are going down 50%.
There you go. ABB. Always
ABB.
be brewing.
ABB. Master notes will decrease brew time by 50% instead of 15%.
Oh, hey there. I see you. I like that.
Now, I thought about this. This made me think for a second because I'm like, all right, the reduced brew time, just standard, 50% reduced, reduces it by half. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, okay, then I put the master note on it, and it goes to 50% reduced time.
But is it 50% of the original?
So it's 50% of the brew time left after the 50% decrease originally.
Okay, so let's do a little math here. The regular, the lowest Extimulo potion,
2 hours.
2 hours. We're going to cut that in half. That's 1 hour, and then we're going to cut it again. It's going to be 30 minutes.
And so I think they actually did this when they did the healing potion, right?
You know what I'm going to say, though? It's a 3-hour event. It is a 3-hour event. Like, that's not low enough.
Yeah, and yep, we've talked about that with the health potion.
I mean,
on Fortress
if I got the lower Extimulo potions coming out my butthole. I don't need that one, but I do need like the potent ones.
Yeah,
because I only have 20 of those stocked up.
So let's do the math on that. The potent ones are 6 hours. It would go down to 3 hours. Yeah,
okay.
Go down to 3 hours.
6, 3, 1.5. I can make 2 in the event. 2.
Actually, maybe 8 hours. I can't remember if they're 6 or 8, but if they're 6, then you can make 2. If they're 8, you can make 2, like literally by the end of the event.
I don't know. You may as well just not even do it. That annoys me.
You can only make 1 if it's 8 hours. I can't remember if anyway. That's cool. That's awesome, but it doesn't affect.
Is it awesome?
It doesn't affect too much during the day. You get to make a couple extra. Now, you can rent the rental cauldron as well and make a few more, but I've never done that.
I don't want to pay for it.
They are giving you a free store pack.
I do. I love when I get a gift.
I know. It's really nice.
I love it. When I see it, I'm like, oh, would you like... It's like when you check the mail as an adult and realize it's not all bills.
Right.
You're like, oh,
I got something from Amazon today.
This is super.
And in that free store pack, you are getting a handful. I think it's 3 Extimulo potions. They're giving you a ton of Extimulo ingredients, so all the different things you need.
Need all that.
Which I don't need either. We got them like crazy. And they're giving us a free trace detection potion. So I'll take that. I will take that as well. And another interesting thing for this community today is, of course, they're saying we're going to have increased spell energy from inns. But get this. We're actually going to have spell energy appear on the map.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Dang, I wish I wouldn't have spent all my money from, excuse me, from FanFest.
Why? Are you wanting to increase your spell capacity?
I had like 500-600 built up from FanFest, from like, like the AT&T little dealio thing that we did. But I spent it all.
Did you spend it on potion capacity?
Mostly.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I'm flip-flopping between spell energy capacity.
My spell energy capacity is at like 185-ish right now. Yeah. And so I don't often run out. But I would love to be able to really just fill her up. I I
You
may drop a few bucks this weekend.
So, because it's appearing on the map, I have a feeling that it's just going to be everywhere, which is great, because then we won't hear the complaints about not having enough spell energy to do things. It's going to be everywhere. You don't have to be by an inn either.
Yeah,
which is
but
cool.
I want to hoard it. You know, I'm more interested in hoarding spell energy than I am anything else.
What's the highest amount of spell energy I can get in these 3 hours?
Like, I'd be like, y'all go on, handle all those foundables. Mama's going to be here hoarding. I'm going to be like a niffler with that spell energy, just shoving it in my bag.
That's great. That's great. So it should be fun. I feel like this is a great community day. I think the fact that rarer spawns from the mysterious artifact.
You know what? I just had a thought.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Going backwards to when we were talking about what could they change out, like some of the rewards for.
Yes.
You know what I would like to see? Heck, I would even put this in our treasure box thing. You know, like the calendar.
Correct. Yeah.
I'd like a coupon
for the store.
For the store, because when I go to buy like spell energy, that's $150 for only 10 slots.
Correct.
Right? And we're not the only ones that have complained about that. A lot of people have. I would like a coupon that says, like, I get 20 this time for the same price. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Use the
like,
coupon,
lower it
get
by, like,
double.
50%.
Yeah, get double capacity.
Mm-hmm. Like, that'd be nice. Or even on Community Day. I would rather, I think, have like a real decent coupon than I would a bunch of free ingredients that are readily available on my map. Like, that really doesn't feel like a gift to me, because I don't have anywhere to put it. My ingredients vault is full of that same stuff.
50 or 15% off spell energy.
No.
Yeah.
15.
You know,
what is 15?
Exactly.
No. 50. 75%. So,
okay, I doubt they're going to do that. That's
okay, but I'll take 50. 50 is fine.
50 is still huge. They want to make money. It would be below 25.
50% off is what I'm saying.
I understand that, and I'm saying that there's no way they would give you a 50% off.
Well, then are you really my friend?
I'm your husband.
Not you, them. I want 50% off. That is not so that would increase the same amount of money spent, would increase it from 10 energy slots
to 20. Correct.
And if you're doing an event where there's energy spawning all over the map, really, like, is that really going to kill y'all that much to give me 10 freaking more per purchase? Yeah. Or you could cap it. You could say you could only do 3 upgrades at that lowered cost during Community Day.
If they did that, they'd make it 1 because they want to make money still.
Well, I think that's dumb, but I understand too.
What if they had it like
25%
off for the entire day? Would you utilize that? I'm trying to find like the level, the number.
I understand that you're trying to find balance.
Yeah.
I, however, am a tightwad, and I would like to get the most I can out of it.
I like it.
Without spending my real money I need to, pay medical bills with.
Right. I think the idea of during the Community Day that is featuring more spell energy to have some sort of deal on the capacity increase for it.
I would love that.
It makes a lot of sense, and I think they should think about that going forward. Like,
baby, we're millennials. We like coupons.
Right?
Like, that's the way to our heart.
No, it makes a lot of sense. You get a lot more energy on these Community Days. They should have some sort of deal on the capacity increase for sure. I like that.
And then if you've got an event that is like where we need ingredients for stuff, like if this is like a ABB event, y'all should do that.
ABB.
This event is called ABB. Always be brewing.
Double the amount of potion slots.
You should get a coupon for Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
For your vault increase on ingredients.
Just before we move off of that topic, they did add the new potion into the game, and they said, here's a free potion
increase. That's really cool. I'm not saying that I'm just saying this is a helpful suggestion from a millennial that likes to coupon.
We would eat that up.
Just because I'm a wizard don't mean I don't like to clip a coupon.
That's right. We would eat that up. So either way, Community Day should be a fun event, and
can I digress one more time?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Listen, you've got a microphone. You've got a microphone. Let's hear it.
The new potion.
Yeah.
I love this, and I know people have been asking for it, and I am sure that this is a super helpful potion for a lot of people who don't have stuff that spawn frequently at their work or at their home. And I found myself brewing this potion because I'm like, look, it's a new potion. But I don't think I even need it. We have, like, no joke, guys, like, any given moment, I can open my game in our house, and we have, like, 24 spawns out in the backyard. I don't think that, like, I even need...
Have you even used it yet?
I have one time.
I have not even used it yet.
I did it just for, like, poos and giggles, because I can't cuss. I just pictured Winnie the Pooh giggling. Maybe I do need to cuss so that YouTube does not... family friendly us.
Yeah, that's another topic for another day.
Demonetize us. Anyways, just a thought. Guys, are you actually using it? Maybe you are. Maybe it's just that I happen to be in places where we have just so many spawns.
I can see rural players using that a ton.
See, I find I would classify us as rural. I hate that stupid word.
Rural.
Hodunk players.
Listen, you got to say it real country. You don't need to say anything other than rural. Rural country.
Baby, we don't say that. I am country.
No, I'm talking like way country, like your dad's side of the family out there in the hollers.
Sunshine Holler?
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, I'll just call it Hodunk players. For us that live out in the Hodunk.
Let's offend all the rural players.
But I am one. I'm not offending. These are my people. And rural is a stupid word.
It is.
Who wrote that word?
Roads.
So, I find us to be a Hodunk player, but I still have I have more spawns than I have energy to deal with. So, you know what I'd like instead would be this I think would be more helpful for Hodunk players. I think that it would be more helpful for me to brew a potion that would increase how much spell energy I could acquire in a period of time. Oh. Because if I only have so much time to go and like dine at ends, if I could double my amount of spell energy so that I could fill up faster, that would be more helpful to me than a lure.
And we know they can do that, increase the amount of energy acquired from ends because they've done it now with almost every community.
That's right, babe. Don't tell me. Don't tell me you can't do it, because I know you can.
All right, let's move on to FanFest.
I'm so sorry.
You're good. These are great ideas. Actually, I love the topics, and we may even dive into those more in future episodes. What do you guys think about those ideas? Let us know. Comments down below, or send us a tweet at our Twitter account, twitter.com/thewizardsguide.
Fun fact, I'm tweeting now.
You are tweeting?
I'm doing the Twitter.
You're on the Twitter, which is great. It helps me out a lot, actually, to have somebody else doing it.
I'm trying. So, guys, if you see a tweet that seems oddly composed or is misusing the hashtags or the emojis, it's just me. I'm trying to learn.
Yep, or properly composed, because I say dumb things sometimes. So FanFest happened a couple weeks ago. We wanted to do a quick recap of it right afterwards, but we've gotten busy and life and baby. So we want to talk about that now, though. We're just going to do it real quick. We have a few points.
Yeah, let me start by saying this.
Yeah.
We have a great video. I'm proud enough to say I think it was a great video.
Hashtag more than a game.
More than a game, that we really discussed more in depth what FanFest meant to us.
Right.
So if you haven't seen that, go watch it, because we're just going to go through this super fast.
Yeah, and there's also another video. So there's that more than the game video, but then there's also just the general like experience of the quest line and things like that. If you want to dive into that more, go check out our YouTube channel.
Or our fellow YouTubers. Like, there's many great videos covering it. There's a ton
of great videos covering FanFest. So if you're curious on the whole experience and what it looked like and all that, check out our YouTube friends and our channel. But we're going to do we like doing likes and gripes on this show.
This is like a special edition.
Likes
and gripes, FanFest edition.
I love it. Wow, you just turned into Harry Carey. All right, so we're going to go with the likes first. So, and I think this is going to be pretty quick because...
I haven't even had time to think about mine.
So I'm going to go through a couple of mine.
Okay, do
I have mine written down, and then we can...
I hope we don't have the same... I have like a couple in my head.
If it's the same, then that's fine. And so let's start. The community. So like we said, check out the More Than a Game video, because this really dives into this topic. But just meeting everybody that we've talked to for the past 2 years, through the computer, but meeting them in person and being like feeling instantly connected to them and playing this game and relating to them and having brunch together and meeting everybody that we've just talked to virtually for 2 years was amazing. Everybody was just so great. And it felt like, we belonged. And it felt like just a great experience over the whole weekend because of that. So again, check that video out. It goes more into that. But specifically for the actual event while we were there, the quest line, it was great. It was really, really intriguing. We got to interact with...
It was long. I love a to-do list, man.
Yeah,
that was a big to-do list.
That's my favorite part. And I don't know if we just got sidetracked quite a bit through the event, but it took essentially the entire day.
Let me tell you why it took the whole day. We'd be out there with, like, Fodder, who's, like, hardcore. Him and Posimon.
Yeah.
Right? So these guys are like...
Check out Pokey Fodder and Posimon on their YouTube. On the YouTube.
On the YouTube. Look, these guys know what they're doing. They're there and they mean business. And so that we'd be like chugging through this quest line, and you'd have to be at different areas of the park, physical areas of the park, to complete certain parts of the quest line. And these guys, they were like, look at my quest line, it's done. And I'm like, y'all, don't get angry. Don't get angry. But I just realized that the part of the park it took us 30 minutes to walk from, I forgot to do 2 things in it.
Yep.
Can we turn around again? That happened multiple times. And thank you for nobody killing me, because I would have smacked me in the face.
We appreciate the patience of a few individuals that we walked around that park so many different times.
I was just so excited. I kept looking at stuff.
It was so cool.
And then I forgot to do what I was actually there for.
And we were also supposed to be filming. So it was just like there's so many things going on at once. But the quest line itself was just set up in a way that made the whole day just great. It had you explore the entire park instead of just being stuck in one.
It is a beautiful park.
That's my third point.
It's in a city.
That's my third thing, is the location and environment and the decorations and everything they put together for this event was awesome.
We had really talked up Centennial Park in Nashville, and we're like, yeah, come on to our park. Like, it's fantastic. Y'all, I mean, I like Centennial Park, but it is nothing compared to, what is it, White River?
It was White River Park, yeah.
State Park. It was a beautiful setting.
It was amazing. I mean, they had the canals and the rivers going through it, and tons of grass area, a huge bridge that was like the hot spot for all the rare spawns. Newt Scamander was hanging out there all day. It was just a great
And the weather
location.
was perfect.
Oh, it was great.
And I know, Niantic was in control of that.
Well, we had a delay. We had a delay at the beginning of the first day, and I think part of the second day. But after the small delay on both of those, it was just a great day. And Niantic, they controlled the weather. But no, so it was just a great environment. And I think that I wouldn't be surprised, Pokemon, their Go Fest is in Chicago every year. So they don't, of course they've added a few more locations this year, but they don't rotate where that big festival is.
I really hope it stays in Indy because it's close enough to driving distance for us. I know that doesn't work out for everybody, but selfishly I appreciate that it's in Indy.
And we get to hang out with Lady Brittany and her family again. Shout out to her dad and his fabulous grill setup.
His mates.
Or smoker. Oh, my
Lady Brittany's dad's mates.
Oh, wow. This topic really turned.
I'm making sure we don't get put on the family-friendly section on YouTube.
I like it. No, we loved the park. Such a great. It was like Brittany said. It was right in the middle of the city. Like we walked out of the city into a beautiful park. It was great. Is there any other points that you loved?
So I feel like yours were real, like general.
Okay. See, you want to go more specific?
I had more specific things.
Do it. Let's hear it.
So there's one moment that
we're doing like top moments.
Well, that's what I thought you meant.
I like it. No, this is good. Let's do it.
So one moment, we were after FanFest was over on Saturday. We all went home. We changed clothes, and we were graciously hosted by
Lady
Brittany's family, and her dad cooked for us and all this stuff. But we pick up our other WUtuber friends. We drove, so we had a vehicle with us, and so we all go to Kroger because it's like potluck. Because that's how Southerners, that's how we roll. So we all went to, Kroger. We get our little goodies that we were bringing. And then we get to Brittany's house and we park out front. And so we're getting out. I think who was with us? Ryan from I'm Risen. We had James from Expecto Go, me and you, and then Kellen from Wizard Tricks. So we get out of the car, right? And we've all got our Kroger bags. And James from Expecto Go is like, he just like stops walking in and he's like, you guys, we are all just walking in with our Kroger bags to a cookout, to a barbecue on a Saturday night. Like it's no big deal. Like this is just what we do together.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what, James, you're right. Like it felt so normal and so natural that like here I am with my online friends that, Mom, I do have friends. My online friends are real. We're carrying in our Kroger sacks into a barbecue on a Saturday together.
We were hanging out together on a Saturday night in person, and it was amazing.
It was cool. It was just funny the way he said it. I was like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
So that was real cool. The other
I will tell you one other
Okay.
this could be considered a gripe for the city itself, but the first night we parked in a parking garage, and we had a few WUtubers with us, Cooper, Animagus, and Cooper from Cooper's Charms, Animagus, and Kellen from Wizard Tricks. We decided to give them a ride back to the Airbnb and the hotel. And,
even though it literally would have been faster for Kellen to walk.
Yeah, this was before we knew the vicinity, how close we were to the Airbnb.
We pressured Kellen into riding with us.
I'm a Hufflepuff, and I'm from the South. I wanted to make sure Kellen felt comfortable and good, and I'm like, dude, you don't have to walk. Let me just drive you. I have a car. Anyway, about an hour and a half later, long story short, we ended up back in the same parking garage because we realized that was the closest spot to the Airbnb.
But it also took forever because we lost our parking ticket. So we couldn't get out of the stupid parking garage we'd already paid for, but we lost our ticket. So we forced those poor people to stay in our car for like 2 hours when Kelly could have walked home and been in bed and asleep.
Anyway, that was a good memory, but a horrible parking experience for sure. Let's go on to gripes. Do you have any other likes?
I have a lot of memories, but not we'll go.
It was such a memorable weekend. So let's just jump over to gripes. And really, it took me a while to figure out gripes because I felt like the whole event was great.
Yeah,
and
there's just so little.
I was like, man, what can I suggest or complain about the event? And there just wasn't much at all. It was such a fun weekend, but I think they missed out on the opportunity to have butterbeer there.
Well, that and like food from the Wizarding World, things like that. But there has to have been, that's so obvious.
Right.
There had to have been a reason that those things were not offered.
I'm wondering if it's like only, they have some sort of...
I'm wondering if that's Universal Studios.
Universal has some sort of like lockdown on being able to produce butterbeer commercially to use.
With that name.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing that I was a little bit disappointed in was the merch. The merch booth.
Not the actual merch. The merch was fantastic.
I loved the merch. I loved it so much that I wanted to get there immediately and buy everything. But unfortunately, the timing and everything, I was not able to do that. And so the only time I was able to...
Well, hold on, back up.
Okay.
The reason why, just to like be clear, there was only one merch tent.
Yeah.
And the merch was fantastic. It was well designed and it was very popular. And it's only available at this event. Correct. So we couldn't get it afterwards. And the line was crazy long.
Correct. That's right.
Both days. It was crazy long. And so people did not want to take time away from the quest line to go stand in a merch line for like 30 minutes to an hour.
Right. And everybody's feeling towards the merch, I guess, was what I felt. It was so popular that it was such a long line. They ran out of essentially everything. I was able to get one shirt that was still in my size, which I love it. I love that shirt. But I really wanted a couple different things. And The one shirt I really wanted, they sold out of very fast in the first day and almost immediately in the second day.
I think my suggestion would be for the future, if we're going to have merch that is exclusive to an event, I would allow attendees that have a ticket, I would also give them online access.
Yes.
So that it's still specific only to attendees.
Yep.
And I don't know, cap it if you don't want like too much stuff floating out there.
Right.
But give us the ability to purchase outside of the event, with expanded sizes, because they're, or like more quantity especially in popular sizes. Dang it, Mike lost weight and got down to an extra large. Well, extra large for men is a really popular size, so there was nothing available. And I would say add at least one more merch tent.
Yeah.
Now that y'all see how popular the merch is,
listen, you guys designed too well. Okay, you designed these shirts and this merch.
We have said it from the very beginning how much we love the design work on this. So
everybody wanted it.
I still don't know who is responsible for that. I wish I would have asked.
Is it Niantic or WB?
No, just like specifically. Who was the graphic designers that worked on this? Last suggestion on merch. I collect patches. I have a beautiful denim jacket that is covered with patches from all around the country that have been collected, and I want a patch. They had stickers. I don't even have a laptop. I really want a patch, an SOS patch.
And to add on to that too, a lot of people I saw throughout the whole weekend looked like they collect pins, PIN.
Yeah,
pins.
enamel pins.
Yep, and so that would be an awesome addition to the collection as well.
If any of you produce patches and you want to make me a patch, I'll pay you for it. I just really want an SOS patch to add to my jacket.
I like it. So essentially the gripe is you did too well at your merch and everybody wanted it. So just either have more quantity or have another line or allow us to, like you said, get it online afterwards.
Online access.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I wrote down here for gripes, since we're doing 3, it was really hard to find a third, is fortress battles or more collaboration in game between the players. So there's a lot of collaboration between us, like walking together and doing our own individual quest lines.
Yeah, but it just didn't really feature fortress battles. There weren't even like fortresses in the park.
There was like 2 or 3. I think there was 2 or 3, and I saw fortress battles happening, but it just wasn't a focus of the day, and that's fine if that's the case.
We did meet up the next day with a ton of WUtubers, and we got to hang out at the mall where there were several fortresses and inns and stuff all together. And we all like grouped up and battled together, and it was a blast. So yeah, fun. I'd love to see that built into like the quest line for next year, maybe.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what they do for next year.
I want to hear people screaming in the park.
Yeah.
Like, I got in trouble because I got a little bit loud a couple times in the mall.
We took over the food court in the mall. It was great. So let's...
I do have one more.
Okay.
This is not... I don't have an issue with it.
Let's hear it.
I wouldn't have even noticed, but I have seen several people online complaining about it.
Oh, interesting. I'm curious to see what this is.
We did have a rain out on Saturday. Not a rain out, but we had a considerable rain delay. There were a lot of people that paid extra money for early access passes. I didn't notice it because I was having a lot of fun. But a lot of those people are like, thanks a lot, I paid for early access. What can you do to compensate? Because they did make the event go later, but that was for everyone.
That's very true.
So the early access people are like, why didn't I get to stay then later?
It wasn't an extra $5 either. It was an extra $20. It was an extra $20.
And if you had like a family of 4 that was going, that's a lot of money that that they missed out on. Now I know like Niantic and Warner Brothers cannot control the weather.
Yeah.
But I guess the question is like, what can you do to kind of like compensate those people in game or whatever?
Yeah, and they gave gifts to everybody at the Fan Fest.
But that was everybody.
But that was everybody, and it was for specifically the miscommunication between the need of using Extimulo potions on foundables. You didn't need to. They were so easy to catch, so a lot of people wasted a lot of their potent potions to catch things, and they didn't need to, and that was just a miscommunication. So that was for everybody. So yeah, the fact that early access, I didn't even think about it until you just said it.
I wouldn't have thought about it had I not seen people complaining about it online, and I get it, right? Like, we didn't care. We were going to be there regardless, and we felt like we needed early access because we were there filming.
Yep.
But I do get it. Like, if it was me and I had brought all 4 of us, like, I'd be like, do you have to do it? No. But would it be a nice gesture to say, here, we want to offer you, X amount of in-game currency? I mean, that would be a nice gesture.
That's $80 that was spent if it was 4 tickets purchased. If our family went, it would be $80 extra that we spent on those early access tickets. And yeah, I could see we didn't really get too much from it. And again,
just a thought.
Yeah. All right, so let's roll into the quick tip. Quick tip of the week. I kind of paired this with the likes from FanFest, and it's real quick. It's real easy. Join a community. Find a community somewhere in your area where you can find other people that play this game. This game is so much more fun.
And if there is not one, make one.
Make one, that's right.
Make your own community.
For sure. A lot of main parks and cities and towns like...
We got added to a Facebook group in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Is it Vancouver?
Vancouver.
And, oh crap, I'm going to forget his name right now.
I think it's Mark.
Mark does a phenomenal job running that community. Actually, you know what? I would like to get some tips from him so that we can share that on a video, because that is a complaint that we hear all the time, is there are no people, or the people in my community are not active. And Mark is running a really active community. He does a great job running that. So maybe we can get some ideas from him so that you can carry those over into your community.
For sure. So join a community, play this game with other people if you can. Get your family to play with you. I mean, it's such a fun game to play with other people, and that was widely experienced in the FanFest a couple weeks ago. So as always, we like to finish these episodes up with a few random questions. I wrote them again. Brittany has no idea what we're going to do here. So let's do a couple would you rather questions, and then we'll roll it out. So, and you guys, make sure you comment down below or send us a tweet at our Twitter handle and tell us what you think or how you would answer these questions going forward. So, Brittany, this is for you. Would you rather be stuck in a broken ski lift or a broken elevator? What would you rather be stuck in? If you're on it and it gets stuck, would it be a ski lift where you can see everything below you?
A ski lift, assuming that it's just broken, like it's not moving.
Yeah. This is both instances are broken where it's not moving.
Yeah, well then that, because I don't like being in tight spaces. And
you would choose the ski lift.
Yeah, I mean, I'm scared of heights, but not as much as I am scared of socializing with strangers and tight spaces with limited airflow.
All right.
Like, what happens when somebody's got a fart on that elevator?
That's bad. That's a bad situation. Hypothetically, you get on a ski lift with you, me, and Micah get on a ski lift. It can only fit 2. I get on with Micah. You get on with a stranger. Does that change the equation at all? Are you fine with a stranger in an open area?
No, not really. But I don't want to be on an elevator.
Yeah, I think I would choose elevator.
That has happened. My mom got stuck at a conference that we were at.
Yeah.
On an elevator that was, crammed full. There was people touching for 2 hours.
That's the other part.
They had to climb out the top of the elevator.
If the elevator is me and 2 other people, totally fine being stuck on an elevator. If the elevator is me with 8 other WUtubers, like we were on FanFest, right. I would be a little bit nervous about being
Here's
cramped.
The scenario. If you're there for a long time, people got to pee. You're on a ski lift, it just dribbles down onto the mountain. You're on an elevator, y'all are all living amongst that ammonia.
It'd be frozen to you probably because it's so cold. So you chose ski lift, I chose elevator. I think I don't want to see where I'm going to fall if the thing falls.
Why? It's not just going to fall over. You think a hurricane's going to hit it?
It might.
Knock it over?
It might. All right, here we go. Next would you rather question. Would you rather explore deep space or explore the deep ocean?
I hate both of these ideas.
You've got to choose one, though. Would you rather be out in space, where you could float out into nothing, or be out in the deep ocean?
This is making me, like, really... You know, you're like, iPhone bubbles? This is making me really uncomfortable.
I feel the same way about these choices.
Like, space scares the absolute crap out of me, but the deep ocean does, too.
Yeah.
Like, they are both, like, really nauseating to me. I don't even know that I can pick. I think I'd just rather die.
I think I would rather... You'd rather just give up. Just give up.
I'm going to give up on life.
Just give up. I think I'd rather do the ocean. Only because I feel like there's a...
Well, it's smaller than space.
Smaller than space. That's true. Smaller than the universe. I also feel like there's a better chance that I just might happen across a lifeline and get saved, rather than in space.
Wait, we're exploring, baby. We're not lost.
Oh, that's true. I'm picturing this as like I got something screwed up and I'm stuck out there.
Oh gosh, I can't think about this. It's making me nauseous. My butt's starting.
I would have to choose. Oh man, so for exploring space, we could be like.
You could be on a spaceship.
We could be like the king and queen of Mars.
But if this is not like, oh look, I was driving to Walmart and I ran out of gas. You run out of gas up there, you are likely dying.
If you run out of gas in a submarine, you're more than likely dying as well.
Yeah, but there's a better chance they're going to find you. It's smaller than space.
You've got propellers instead of gas, I'm assuming, in a submarine. I don't know submarines well. I'm assuming you can just turn the propeller on.
Submarines well. What kind of weird comment is that? I don't know submarines real well.
You'd only hear this on the Wizard God podcast. All right, so you would just choose give up and die. I would choose probably the ocean. All right, the last thing it's not a would you rather. It's a rank. We're going to rank something here, and I want to hear this in the comments as well, what your top 3 favorite cereals, breakfast cereals are. But Brittany, for you and I, or Britt,
I think this is pretty easy for me.
Hold on, we're putting a twist. We're going to rank each other's top 3. So I'm going to rank your top 3,
dang. Okay.
and you're going to rank my top 3.
I feel like you should know mine, because mine are pretty easy.
I definitely know your top.
Okay, we've been married almost 11 years in like a few weeks. Yep. So I feel like we should know this. Yours is, I don't know, I'm not going to rank them. I'm just going to say these are your top 3.
Just say top 3, yeah.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Honey Bunches of Oats, and S'mores cereal.
Wrong.
No, that's not
You've
wrong.
got one right.
I know what goes on the grocery list.
You may have got 2 right, but you left one huge one out. My top favorite at the very top of the list.
Okay, tell me.
Frosted Flakes.
Since when, you liar? That's not your favorite cereal.
Wow,
it's
like truth coming out on the podcast. I'm serious. Frosted Flakes is my number 1 cereal of all time, and it's just because it's sweet, it's delicious, it's simple. I can have it at any time.
Way fast.
I love the sogginess.
Oh, gross!
I love when it gets not like super soggy, but like once it gets to like a couple minutes of being in the milk.
Mine needs to stay crunchier. I throw it down the sink.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is correct.
Yeah.
And S'mores would be in the top 3, I think. It would be between that or Cinnamon Life.
S'mores cereal is not that common. That's one that comes in like a giant bag at Walmart by Malto Meal or something.
Yep.
It's delicious if y'all haven't had it.
So, your top 3. Definitely multigrain Cheerios. Okay. It's the very top of the list.
Yep.
What else do old people eat? Multigrain Frosted Mini Wheats? And no, dang it. You literally only eat multigrain Cheerios.
I love multigrain Cheerios.
Oh, what else do you eat? Honey Nut Cheerios? Would that be?
No, I don't like Honey Nut Cheerios. Honey Nut Cheerios smells like morning pea to me.
It does.
That's why I won't eat them.
Regular Life.
Yep.
That's in the top 3? Okay, so I've got one more. What is your third one?
Okay, you should know this one.
Okay, so multigrain Cheerios. Regular Life.
Regular Life.
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch. Yeah.
Regular Captain Crunch?
Yeah, I hate the berries.
Yeah.
And if the berries, you can't just pick them out. Like that nasty taste, which tastes very similar to throw up. It like infects all the other Captain Crunches.
I love Crunch Berries. I love the Christmas time Crunch Berries. Makes me feel so festive. Oh my gosh, Christmas is almost here, babe.
You know what's happening? The Little Debbie's Christmas cakes will be back.
Yes.
That mess is delicious.
All right, so you guys buckle in, because as we get closer to Christmas, we're going to drive you nuts. We are the
Mike
biggest...
Pringle over here.
We're the biggest Christmas fans. November 1st is the day our tree goes up. Yep. Thanksgiving...
Halloween comes down, Christmas goes up.
Exactly. Thanksgiving, listen, it is a holiday. It is.
It's part of the holiday season.
Exactly. It's part of the holiday season. A Christmas tree up during Thanksgiving dinner just adds so much joy. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it coming. Oh, I love Christmas so much. All right, so anyway, we thank you guys for listening. Give us your feedback on these random questions of the day. Let us know what you think. Make sure you go leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us out tremendously if you're enjoying listening to us. If you don't enjoy listening to us, leave us a review anyway and give us 5 stars because we love you. We love you. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, all those great things. Make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube account. That is what we, I guess, put a lot of our creative energy into, and we love doing this podcast, but we really want you to check out our YouTube as well. That's youtube.com.
So you can see our beautiful mugs.
That's right. What do you think we look like? I look like Burt Reynolds, and Brittany looks like Heidi Klum.
Yep, just like that.
Go verify that by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And always make sure you go follow us on Twitter for all the up-to-date news on Wizards Unite. We try to tweet, and Brittany is joining me now.
On the Twitter.
On the Twitter. Also, make sure, quick note, a couple of other guys, other WUtubers that we met in FanFest, we found out we are obsessed with fantasy football. We have started a fantasy football podcast. It is called the Fantasy Football Podcast, and it's essentially Harry Potter nerds talking about fantasy football. So if you also enjoy playing fantasy football, go check that out. We've got the YouTube channel up. We're going to start getting it into the podcast apps as well. The Fantasy Football Podcast. Go check it out. Thank you for listening. You guys have an awesome week.